Back to empirical evidence. This is Annie, your science chaplain. We were going to discuss how can you recognize what a narcissist does to you. How many times do you try to have your own space and you notice that they destroy your social and mental boundaries? They break your boundaries, even the simple ones such as stay out of my bathroom and use your own. How can you recognize what they do to you? They focus on you. They like to shame dump. They idealize themselves as some pretty person or handsome person desired by many. They violate your space. I had one lady that I was living with, and she broke into my bedroom. And I know she broke in because the lock was broken. At that point is when I realized how serious the issues were with this woman. Did I confront her? No. What would have been the point? I was able to already recognize that I was dealing with a narcissist. So I set my boundaries. There are many ways to set boundaries. How can you recognize what they do to you? They exploit all people. Don't personalize it. The most important thing to do is not to personalize it. Don't think that it's you that is so special that they're doing this to you, or that it's you that they're seeking revenge on. I mean, the narcissist can seek revenge. That's not a joke. But when they first enter your lives, it's not for the purpose of revenge. It's for the purpose of clinging, manipulation. They sense power and they use people. A narcissist operates at an intuitive level. You need to use your intuition also to recognize what they're up to. If you tune off the intuition for strict logics and mathematics and science, you will not be able to spot them. If you discount the supernatural world, you'll spend your time trying to fix them, thinking that this is a mental health disorder that you have the power to solve. Remember, power comes from a different source. We see it in the world, but we don't own it, which means it is supernatural because it's something living, it's something we recognize, and yet we can't actually tangibly put our hands on power. We can create opportunities to get a little bit of it, or it's given to us. And because it's given to us, we know it by what it does. It moves people. The narcissist wants a type of energy that can move people. But your life belongs to you. They have mood swings all the time. They envy even their own families. So don't think it's just you. They act nice, but they don't care anything about your success unless it feeds them. And by feeds them, I mean literally. It puts food in their belly, a roof over their head, great place to sleep, and a social status that they can be proud of. A narcissist is strictly image-based. They don't care anything about feelings, only their own. And they're hypersensitive. They desire to be admired. And if they're ignored too long, they start drama in your life, in your house, in your mind, on your phone, on Facebook, on social media, on Twitter. They love drama. So again, how do you recognize what they do? They break into your space or they invade your space. They don't know how to stay in their own bedroom or their own space or use their own car. There's a pattern. You don't need 6 or 7 weeks to spot the pattern. Or you may need that long. Just look for it. Anything times more than 3 times is a pattern. It's pretty simple. Look for it. By the second time someone does something, ask yourself, when's the next one coming? And if the next episode comes within a couple of weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe even 6 months, you need to start asking deeper questions. What's going on here? They break their boundaries. They break your boundaries. They focus on you all the time, an obsessive kind of focus. They love to shame dump, which means they manipulate your mind and say you are responsible for all the chaos in their life and your own. They don't take accountability or responsibility for anything. They cannot be taught because their brain is rewired a certain way after the age of whatever event that they associate as the worst event of their life. They idealize themselves as some desirable person and that you're lucky to be near them because they're crazy. It's a form of craziness. Crazy again. Excess energy that makes no sense and has no sense of direction. They exploit all people. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, parents. They're vampires. They have mood swings all the time. They envy their own families. Envy is one of the worst spiritual sins. Envy doesn't need a reason. Envy is a maliciousness within desire. It means to want to covet what someone else has, to even the point where you would create sabotaging events for them just to get what you want. You're willing to sacrifice another human being to get what you need because you perceive that it's owed to you. Envy. They desire to be admired, and if you ignore them, or people ignore them in general, or laugh at them, or the paranoia in their mind is kind of great, they start the dramatics. Now ask yourself those 8 questions again. Go ahead and hit replay. And when you hit replay, if you got 4 out of 8 for any of the people in your circle, I don't care who that is. It could be a husband, a wife, a child, a stranger, a teacher. If you got 4 out of 8 for any adult, anybody over basically, spiritual adult we're talking, not spiritual maturity, spiritual adult. So the average age of marrying across cultures, let's call it between 16 and 18. At that turning point where the brain begins to understand the world and how to have power in relationships, if you see this person doing 4 out of 8, this is a person who can drain your future. This is a person who can mess up your mind. Ask yourself, do you know this person? Do you know their family? Do you know your friends? Do you know their friends? Study their friends. Birds of a feather often flock together. Powerful people run with powerful people. Parasites, they like other parasites. They learn new tricks. They also like powerful people. But you don't see powerful people collecting many parasites in general. No, birds of a feather really do like to flock together. I don't know if they really like it as much as they follow energy that's familiar. And when they find new energy that's more powerful, a narcissist clings to it. They're smart. Don't underestimate them. On the next posting, we'll evaluate all the people that you keep close to your mind and your finances. So a part of getting them out of your life is to know where your finances are going and to know what they're plugging into your mind. Keep a journal. And if you don't want to keep a journal, keep a separate email account that you just sort of, email all the things that are happening in your life to yourself as you're studying these people. Stay tuned.